Mr. Haley.
Thank you. Trust and integrity were never, ever, ever an issue with all of the 5 candidates that we had. So please, let's just take that and put it aside, because all 5 of these people had incredible levels of trust and integrity. Coincidentally, this week I was given a task that I have to complete an ethics class for the state. And in it, they talked about decisions that we as elected officials have to make. And one of them was, statements was made that you are elected to make the best decisions for the agency here, the city of Corona, for the city of Corona. Not for your buddy, not for political gain, not for anything else. You have to put all of this other stuff aside, including, it said, you might be jeopardizing your own chances for re-election. But you have sworn an oath that you will do this. I think it's just coincidental that we had this thing, because that's what you did. You you elected me, and you elected my 4 colleagues to make the best decision for you. That's my job, and that's what I do. 4 of the applicants that we hear are my friends. I've been to 3 of their homes. I think all 4 of them have been to my home. But yet I have to pick someone out. And when I do, it's going to be because the candidate that I'm going to vote for is the one that I want to have representing the city of Corona in the office of treasurer. Now, a couple of opinions were given earlier, and I'd like to give my opinion. It was stated that this is a ceremonial position. Ladies and gentlemen, I tell you this is not a ceremonial position, and I have proof. God, don't you hate it when somebody starts out with, well, when I was the president of the Rotary Club, or when I was in the Marines, or when I was doing this? Well, I don't like that either, but I have to say, well, when I was the treasurer, I worked with the finance director, and I worked with the assistant city manager, Greg Irvine. And we kind of took a real hard look at the city, because we're not a small city anymore. We're a big city. And we needed to hire professionalism. And we hired a firm called Chandler Asset Management. We did a nationwide search. We had 5 candidates come from all over the country, including New York City. And we hired Chandler. Now, luckily, they're just down the street in La Jolla, but we hired them. And this is one of the things that they had done. They came to us, that is the finance department, and me as the city treasurer, and we said, you know, there's a company that we own a bond. We own a $4 million bond, and the name of the company is Lehman Brothers. And we don't like it. We don't like Lehman Brothers, and we think it is our professional opinion that you sell the Lehman Brother bond. Now, the city treasurer is the person that pulls the trigger on that. The city treasurer is the person who has to weigh out the advantages and the disadvantages of any trades that we do. And quite frankly, we lost money by selling the Lehman Brother bond. We lost, God, I hate to quote it, but I think it was like $100,000, which is an awful lot of money. 4 weeks later, Lehman Brothers went into receivership. Had we not sold that bond, the city of Corona would have lost $4 million. I don't think that's ceremonial. I think that's doing the job for the city of Corona. Now, did I do it myself? No, I didn't. Mrs. Eden runs a crack staff in the finance department. Greg Irvine is a great resource here in the city. And we all work together at this. So I take strong issue with ceremonial. Something else. I'm 6'4". A lot of people say, wow, he's a big guy, 6'4", wow. And then I stand next to Shaquille O'Neal, who's about, I don't know, 7'2" or something like that. So a lot of people think that I'm very tall, and then they meet Shaquille, and they say, wow, that guy's even taller. So the point that what we have to do is we have to take things in relativity. Do we have 5 good quality people that we could appoint city treasurer? The answer is yes. But you know, sometimes people are taller. Sometimes people are heavier. Sometimes whatever. We're going to make a decision on the best person. That's not to say that the other 4 are not good quality people. That's not to say that at all. They are. But what we're doing, or at least I'm doing for myself, is I'm going to vote for the person that I think is the absolute best, because that's what you hired me for, to make the best decisions for the city of Corona and not have to worry about the repercussions that'll happen online or tomorrow morning or next week. That's what I got elected for, and that's what I'm going to do. And I made a ton of notes. Oh. You're correct. When Mr. Skipworth left, he had 4 months to go on his tour of duty. When you were elected, Mr. Fox, we have 22 months to go. That's too long to keep the spot open. We had a number of options that we could have done, including have an election, but that was going to cost in the realm of $15,000 to have an election. So, pardon me? Was it more than that? Ton of bucks. And we decided to say, nah, we're not going to do that because, again, you elected the 5 of us to make the right decision. And the right decision in this particular situation was to have an ad hoc committee and appoint the person that we thought was best. One thing that my colleague forgot to mention, we met on a Monday, and we both had meetings with city staff and couldn't talk about it, so we decided to come back Tuesday morning. We met at 9:30 and we didn't break until 11:15. 2 hours of sitting down across the table with 5 applications in front of us and saying, okay, what the heck do we do? What are we going to do? So this is not a decision made lightly. This was an incredibly thorough decision that Mr. Scott. Those are my thoughts for this evening on this particular issue. Thank you.
Okay.